everybody, welcome and thanks so much for coming back to join us here on the Hmong Women in Faith page, where I get to share beautiful testimonies submitted by our Hmong sisters in Christ. Today I have an amazing story lined up to share with everybody, but before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and follow this page for more. Thanks so much. It had been a difficult season for us. My husband had been without a job for a while, and the day had come when his benefits would finally run out. The weight of all of it was heavy, but we'd still been receiving some financial help up until then. We knew the support would end that day, and the uncertainty of what would come next hung over us. That very same day, we received a call. A company he hadn't even applied to wanted him to come in for an interview immediately. They received his name from a mutual friend. With the pressure mounting, he didn't hesitate for a second. Before he left, we sat down together, just the two of us, and talked. We discussed the bare minimum we needed to continue living in our home, keeping our vehicles, and putting food on the table for our family. It wasn't just numbers, it was everything we needed to keep going. And yet, deep down, we knew that only God could provide. We prayed, together holding on to faith that He would make a way. We asked God to provide, to guide us, and to write our story. As my husband drove off to the interview, I sat in silence, a mixture of hope and anxiety swirling inside me. 2 hours felt like an eternity. Finally, he came back through the door. I asked, my heart racing, "How did it go?" He looked at me with a faint smile and said, "I think it went well, but we never even talked about the salary." My heart sank. The uncertainty crept in again. But just then, not even 2 minutes later, his phone rang. It was them, the company he'd just interviewed with. He answered the call and walked away. I could hear his voice, soft and low, but I couldn't make out the words. My mind was spinning with possibilities. Then, 10 minutes later, he walked back into the room. His face was streaked with tears. He pulled me close and in a broken voice, barely a whisper, he said, "They offered me the job, and they offered $10,000 more than we even prayed for." I stood there, stunned, overwhelmed by emotion. For 77 long days, we had waited, prayed, and trusted that God would provide. And in that moment, we were reminded that His plan was bigger and better than we could ever imagine. He didn't just meet our needs, He exceeded them. 77 days. That's how long it took for Him to answer. But His timing, His provision, His grace were all far beyond anything we could have hoped for. This was His story for us, one greater than anything we could have written for ourselves. And in that moment, we knew, deep in our hearts, that we were never alone. His plan was unfolding, and we were right where we needed to be. Trust His timing, trust that He has a plan, even in the waiting, even in the uncertainty. He is writing a story for you that is more beautiful than you could ever dream. Such a truly beautiful testimony. Thank you to the Hmong sister in Christ who submitted this story to share with everybody. I really believe that a lot of us can relate to this story. We all have gone through hardships and seasons of waiting, and in those times, it is really testing for us to see if we truly do believe in God's plans and His timing for us. Because when we do, He always meets our needs. And not only does He meet our needs, but He blesses us abundantly and beyond our expectations. So this testimony, again, is a reminder that when we place our trust in Him, He is always faithful to provide in every situation. Thank you so much for joining me again here today. I hope that today's testimony has strengthened and encouraged you in your walk with God. If you have a story and would like to share yours, please feel free to comment down below or send me a DM. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and follow this page for more. I will see you guys on the next episode. God bless.